What is up, YouTube? My name is David Lee, and you're watching Asian with Cards, and we got my buddy Ryan Ide. What deck is this, and how many pods did you win?
Well, I won 2 pods. The first one I won with Hero Frogs, pretty standard Hero Frog list. But the second one I won with Machina Frogs. I wanted to put the deck together and test it and see if I could win one with basically my pet deck. It's something I've been working on quite a bit.
And this is like your deck, like the deck that you've been trying to push.
Yeah. I think it's my favorite Machina build. I think it's the most success I've had with any Machina deck in the format.
Awesome. Let's begin.
Yeah. So we'll start with the frogs. 3-toed, I guess. Like that. 2 swap. I may add the third back in. I've been playing 2 swap in Hero Frog, and so I just wanted to see if it would work okay in Machina Frog. But 3 could be a thing in here. 2 Treeborn, 2 Duke. Uni, this card's absolutely mandatory in this deck. I think it's mandatory in any Frog deck, but especially in this one because the Machina stuff is so weak to bottomless oppression. This stuff just eats that stuff up. So there's the frogs. 3 Caius. I mean, it's Caius.
Caius is Caius.
Yeah. So there's the frogs and the monarchs kind of things. Now we've got the machines. So we've got our 3 gear frame, our 3 fortress. It's essentially like the hero engine, where you can like bounce gear frame back with slot frog. It's insane. 1-for-1 gear frame is a crazy opening. You just summon gear frame, grab fortress, 1-for-1 away the fortress, go through all your frogs. So you end with all your frogs in grave, a fortress in graveyard, and a dupe block. Basically, it's nuts. Just 1 force. 2 comes up sometimes, but I think the brickiness of the second one is worse than the. I think the second one bricking comes up more often than actually needing the second one in an actual game. So I think 1's the right number there. And then like a recent addition I've been playing with is the light machine package. We got 2 Cyber Elephant. It's a board wipe. It requires me to have a light machine in my graveyard or my field. And it sends all face-up monsters to the graveyard except for itself. I think the only thing that holds this card back in this format is the light machine options in Edison are pretty slim. They're not the best, but so this is kind of what I'm up to right now. I've got 2 Cyber Dragon, just good generic. It's a little awkward with Treeborn sometimes, so I'm considering cutting one of these down for a second copy of Hypersynchron.
What does this say?
Yeah, so Hypersynchron, it's a level 4 light machine tuner. So it makes a lot of 5s with Treeborn. It can go into, Catastor, Android, whatever. But also it's 1600 attack, so it gets over deck devastation virus. It doesn't care about massive restricts, pulling the rug, that kind of stuff. Its effect is if it's synchro, if you use it as material for a dragon type synchro, it gains 800 attack, and that dragon type synchro is removed in the end phase. So you usually don't want to make dragons with it unless you're going for a game shot. You can make like a 3800 Red Dragon Archfiend, for example. That comes up sometimes, but it's usually used to make the 5 and get a light machine in your graveyard to fuel this guy up. The other like pseudo light machine is Junk Synchron. I'm not always using it as a light machine. It does make Armory Arm, which happens to be a light machine in a pinch if I ever need it. But it's mostly there because it just makes better synchro options than like an extra copy of Hyper Synchron. So this came up clutch big time. I did a couple of Armory Arm kills just to get the last bit of damage in against a couple of guys. So I think I like this over any of these other light machine options for sure. I may even add a second one. Who knows? Yeah, Army Arm being a light machine is really nice. And then Gorse, and then 1 Fader because of how good it is with Elton. If my opponent thinks they can OTK me, I drop this and then drop an Elton on them and wipe their board. I just win. So it's a nice little combo. So that's the monster lineup. Go to the spells next. This card's ridiculous. I don't know what else to say. This might be the best card in the deck. I don't know. Anytime I see this with gear frame, I feel like I just win the game. It just sets up my entire deck.
That's an amazing synergy.
Yeah. It's also really good with Junk Synchron as well. You can, if you have 1-for-1 Junk plus another Junk target, like Treeborn Frog, you go 1-for-1, dump the Treeborn, grab Substitute, normal Junk, grab back the Treeborn, and then go and do a Swap Frog, bounce the Junk, and then do your Frog combo from there. Yeah, this card just does ridiculous things in any Frog deck for sure. And then, these are standard, Brain, Heavy, Typhoon. I played 3 Upstart in this deck. Sometimes, I just want to see my Caiuses and my gear frames and my Ultimans and just, all the just power cards. It's really, really good after you've gone through all your frogs because all your top decks just become crazy. Just little consistency piece there. I've been liking Upstart a lot. Shout out Oscar from Legacy Retro Formats. He's been pilling me on Upstart big time. And then we've got a small trap lineup. We got 2 Raigeki Break. I like it better than Wind Blast because it hits Cyber Dragon post board, and it just gets rid of annoying cards like Oppression. I'd rather destroy those than send them to the top of the deck. Mirror, Torrential, 1 Threatening Roar. I've been loving main decking these cards. People don't see them coming, and with the Machina stuff especially, it's really nice. It's good with Junk Synchron, it's good with Swap Frog. You can go like swap, priority bounce, chain Torrential, wipe their board, and then just drop machines on them. Threatening Roar, this could become a second Fader. The Fader could become a second Threatening Roar. It's the Fader has, is a lot weaker to Oppression, deck dev, that kind of stuff. So I'm considering cutting that for a second Roar. Right now I'm just going 1-1, just seeing which one I like better. The deck's still kind of in a little bit of a under construction kind of stage as far as some of the one of kind of selections,
but you got to win your pod.
Yeah, we got there. The Threatening Roar actually came out big time, protecting Swap Frogs, and then being able to like tribute for Kai's next turn, bounce the Kai's back.
Right.
Things like that. So, you want to do extra next?
Yes.
Cool.
Let's do it.
Extra deck. Like I said, Armory Arm, Light Machine, very clutch. Sometimes it comes up. It also just, like, you can just kill people with it out of nowhere. I equipped this to a Fortress, ran over an Armed Wing, did 3,500 burn damage per game. Card's really good with just any frog deck. 5s, I have Catastor, Android, Junk Warrior. These two come up a lot with the Hypersynchron. If I add more Hypersynchron, I may have to add another copy of either one of these, just to have an extra level 5. Junk Warrior with the swap, with the Junk Synchron comes up sometimes for kill lines. 6s, we got Brio, Goyo, Urquiza. Also have Iron Chain. Because the Dragon, Hypersynchron can make it 3,300 in case I ever have that line to swing for game or something like that. It's the biggest level 6. And then obviously, Junk plus Treeborn plus Swap can just make any of these. Just as essentially a 1-card level 6. So 7s, we have Black Rose. Don't have to explain that one. Ancient Sacred Wyvern. This card has not come up yet. I've been waiting for so long to kill an opponent with this because Hypersynchron is a light tuner, so you're able to summon this. Maybe one day it'll come up. This may be cut later on if I decide I don't need it. It's just in there for fun right now, just because I want to kill somebody with it one day. 8s, Colossal, Thought Ruler. These two are not dragons, so I think they're pretty mandatory in this deck if you need to go into something with Hypersynchron that's not a dragon. And then the dragons, we have Red Dragon, which can go up to 3,800. That number could be important, potentially. And then Stardust goes up to 3,300. It's also really cool when you go into Stardust with the Hypersynchron, run over an Absolute Zero, negate the Absolute Zero, and then it comes back in the end phase as regular Stardust with 2,500, and it doesn't get banished or anything like that.
That's an amazing thought.
It's a nice little, nice little play. That hasn't come up yet either, but it's a play that I'm aware of that I'm waiting to happen for it to happen one of these days. And then the one Chimera Tech because of the Cyber Dragons. So there's the extra. And then last but not least, the side deck. It's pretty straightforward. It's a couple Vanity's Fiends, a Smash and Ground for Titanial decks, Christia decks, that kind of stuff, just generic removal. And then I just play a bunch of traps on the side. I like purple cards in these decks. Shout out 10-foot for getting me on these traps. This deck has come from all sources of inspiration. Ronick as well. Ronick created the deck. I gotta shout him out for sure. He inspired me to start playing Frogs, and now we're here winning mats. So huge fan of his. So our trap lineup, we've got 2 Compulse, just a bunch of generic removal for different matchups. 3 Prison, 2 Dust Tornado, and a Raigeki Break. These just come in against all kinds of stuff, just whatever I feel like I need. And then the only matchups I side out the upstarts for are Lightsworn and Dragon Turbo. So I've got extra side deck space for those matchups. I can side pretty heavy for those. So I'm just playing these. I'm not messing around with their hands.
Oh my god!
I'm playing 4 trap dust shoots. These were insane. I played against a Lightsworn player in one of the pods.
How many people did you make cry?
This just went insane. Yeah.
How many people did you make cry?
A couple. Mind Crush was insane. After the Lightsworn player resolved Beckoning Light, he got back 2 Honest and a couple Lightsworn monsters. I don't think he drew into a JD yet. He was at what was his life? He was at 21. The game's at 2,100. On my turn, I set the Mind Crush and pass basically with a Caius on the field. He summons Lumina, uses Expect Whatever. I know his last 2 cards in here are both Honest. He attacks into Caius, I flip Mind Crush, declare Honest, so he dumps both the Honest I knew that he had. Hit him for 1400 with the Caius because he just slammed right into my Caius. He's down to 700, my turn I summon another Caius, banish himself for game. So yeah, Mind Crush just got him big time. There's another Lightsworn player as well that I faced in yesterday's pod, where just a combination of these 4 cards just went really crazy. Yeah, it's nice having this extra side space where I sat at the upstarts. It's the safest kind of. I think it's the safest play against those kind of decks. I feel the safest when I see these cards because I can just get their best card out of their hand and shut them down. Instead of if they put together a board like a JD board or like a Dragon Turbo board, I'm already dead. So this stuff doesn't really help. I'd rather have this stuff in those situations. So yeah, it's my little touch I added to it. I think I like it quite a bit.
Awesome. Is there anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, you guys already shouted out already. A combination of Brownick and Oscar Zelaya from Team Legacy and 10-Foot as well. Just 3 big sources of inspiration for me. Helped me put this deck together, put the Hero Frog deck I was playing together, and yeah, also want to shout out Crow's Nest. I just recently joined their team officially last week. I've been like around them and affiliated with them for a long time, so I know all those guys. And Fitz was one of my teammates yesterday. Good guy. Shout out Fitz. Masha as well. Also the Team Iron server that we're in on Discord with Crow's Nest, 10-Fit Ducks, Beast Mode, those guys. Brawlers, the Canadian team that recently we added into. We had just a bunch of guys we playtest against, and just this nice little community, a bunch of good people, and a lot of these guys are here too, actually. So
awesome.
Yeah, big shout out to them.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, thanks a lot.
We'll see you guys soon.
Peace.